Howdy, y'all. It's Cody from the Keepers of Nerddom, and I'm actually joined here today by my friend Blaine.
Hello.
And we are going to be introing and going through and ranking the Dark Souls 3 bosses. So making a tier list of the Dark Souls 3 bosses and all their DLC bosses as well. There's actually not very many DLC bosses, really. So
there's only 5?
Yeah, there's not much. So yeah, this is exciting because I have some thoughts, Blaine has some thoughts, and we're going to get into it, and we'll just kind of go in order of what the tier maker had on it. And we added, I think, one extra as well. Mm-hmm. So Dark Souls 3, so far you've played Elden Ring, Dark Souls 3.
Dark Souls 3, we're playing Dark Souls 1.
Okay. And you haven't experienced Dark Souls 2 in all of its glory.
I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I played a little bit of Sekiro.
So, okay. I haven't gotten to play Sekiro or Bloodborne yet, but Dark Souls 1 is like my game, and Dark Souls 3 is like right next to that, and Elden Ring somewhere in all that mix too, but Dark Souls 1 still the one. All right, so let's get to our first boss. The first one up on our list is Yorm the Giant. Yorm, you have to go way, way down into the ground after you go through a prison. Everything's crazy, and how do you rank that fight?
That fight, that depends. Do you have Onion Man or not Onion Man?
That's true. And even with or without Onion Man, it's also the question of, do you have his sword and are you using it?
If you're not using the sword, it sucks.
Yeah. But if you're using the sword, it's one of those cheese fights. And interesting, right? It's a silly fight.
It's definitely interesting. It's a fun fight. I'd definitely say that.
Yeah.
I won't spoil anything, but Onion Knight, Siegward, however you say it.
Yep.
If I put him in there, I'd definitely give it an A tier.
You go A?
Yeah.
I always come across him and go, okay, we know what we're doing. We're going to hit him 7 or 8 times with the wind blade thing, and GG, it's over. I don't ever feel like I'm having a lot of fun, but it is kind of funny.
I just enjoy the Siegward, his quest line, all of it, and
yes. All right, I will give you this one. We'll put him in A tier for now. I have to say I would go more B tier, but I'm totally fine with this. All right, our next boss is, we're just gonna put him up here so we can see a little bit better.
Oh, that's
it's the twins.
No, twins are later.
This
is the magic guy that shoots arrows from the sky.
Magic. Oh, it's the bug thing. Yeah. Okay.
I'm okay with where he is right now.
Really?
Yes, because you can choose this fight with one spell.
What's the spell?
It's no magic.
Okay. Oh, because you can just turn him off.
You just turn off all magic.
That's fair. So there's a way really easily to beat him. I really enjoy that fight because it is quite the concept. I'm going to say he's at least a B tier for me.
I could put him there, yeah.
Just because of the insanity there.
I just really like the arrow attack. It's so annoying.
Yes, very much so. I mean, it hits hard, but I think that's the beauty of Dark Souls 3 bosses is that if they hit hard and you can figure it out, you're going to be fine. If you don't figure it out, you're not fine and you never will be. All right, the Boreal Dancer.
I never really had fun with her. I usually run strength builds, and she's not much of a challenge.
Yeah.
It's a cool looking fight, and I like her weapon that you can get from it, but I'd probably give it maybe B tier.
Okay. Behind the bug thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So my only thoughts on that, and I would say that's fair. She is one of those fights that's hard, not because, especially with the first few times you fight her, not because she actually is crazy hard, but because her timing is off at times on purpose. Like they intentionally make her timing bizarre and her movements very dance-like rather than intentional. Yeah. And it just throws you off because that's not what you're expecting.
One thing I do like about her is you don't have to fight her when it tells you to. You can actually fight her really quickly in the beginning of the game.
Yes, you can. You very much so can. And I think that's neat, right? That if you're a person that wants to just go ahead and move, you can go ahead and fight her. That's cool. I don't remember. Is this Dragon Slayer armor? Is this this next guy? Okay. I'm remembering more than I thought I would. So what's your thoughts on him?
I love him as a fight.
Okay.
I like his attack style. I love his armor. I like his design. I like how you're not just fighting him, but you're also fighting the background.
Yep.
Well, you're not fighting it, but it's fighting you.
Yep.
It's really cinematic spot for me. Definitely one bad thing is the 5 million campfires that are next to it.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. So for me, actually, I never really remember this fight other than that, the fires,
Yeah, that's fair.
because this fight is there, and honestly, getting to him is harder than him.
That's fair.
Getting through that area to me is always frustrating because he's right before the library, and that whole area has the 2 dragon things that are like half dead on the staircase
infected
area. Yeah, and it's like getting to him is way harder than him. I've died to him, but it's also he's slow.
Yeah.
He's big. He honestly reminds me of a boss from Dark Souls 2. And you haven't fought that yet, but you will.
One
soon.
thing that annoyed me with him is that little like bump in the middle of the arena.
Okay.
He can throw his axe air attack through it. And
Okay.
It's not fun.
Where would you put him?
I'd put him top of B tier, if not A tier.
Wow. Okay.
I enjoy him as a fight
Okay.
a lot.
For me, he's definitely a C tier. Let's meet in the middle.
Put him bottom of B tier.
Yeah, put him in the bottom of B tier. Because we may adjust these as we go here as well. All right, I'm going to just drag this one up here because I can't tell what it is.
It's Ocelot Man.
Oh, okay. This was the one we had already talked a little bit about. Ocelot.
I hate him.
So you hate him.
He goes in
Why?
B tier for me. I hate the fight. He's so annoying. And it's not even that he's a hard fight. It's just he's beefy.
Yes. He does actually hit really hard, especially in phase 2.
Yeah, but I've never really had a problem with him. I think I've died to him once in all the playthroughs I've done with him. And he just seems off-putting, like kind of not meant to be there.
Okay.
Almost.
Okay.
Also, the arena sucks.
Yeah, the arena is intentionally bizarre. I think for me, I actually love this fight, not because it's a great fight, but because I have died many times just stopping and listening to him talk, saying weird things to his child that he's holding that's actually not there.
Yeah.
Like that just weirds me out, but in a good way, because you're like, what? And then boom, I'm dead. I'm like, oh, oops. And
Yeah.
I'm impressed by that. Like that takes some skill. So where would you put him at?
I would put him in D tier.
Okay, I would put him in B tier. So let's meet in the middle.
C tier. Yeah.
So he's a C tier. Okay, our next one.
So this is
Is that the start boss?
no, that's the second one.
This is the second one.
Yes.
Oh, because this is the one you go back and fight that doesn't
Yeah.
have the infection in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Personally, I like that boss better than the first one, just because he's
Fair.
more agile and more
Fair.
attacking.
I find
He punishes you.
yeah, I like him better too. The only thing I will say though is I don't really like fighting a boss
Twice.
twice.
That's fair.
Granted, he's different because he doesn't have the infection. He's better than the first version.
And he has a slightly different moveset.
Yeah. So it's better.
He gets enraged at like halfway point. He gets enraged,
Yeah.
but instead of going sludgy, he just gets angry.
Yeah. I just feel like at that point in the game, you're ready for him.
Yeah.
And so he's not a fight that I remember that I go, yes. Where would you rank him?
I'd probably put him in B tier.
Okay. I'm probably close to C tier, so we'll put him at the bottom of B for now.
That works.
Or
for
do
me.
you want him in front of the... No, because you said you really liked the...
Yeah, I really like him.
Yeah. All right. Our next boss...
Princes.
Oh, this is the Princess Lothric? All right. Thoughts, go.
Definitely, I'd put him in A tier. I really enjoyed that fight.
Yeah.
I enjoy both the weapons. I like what you can do with the weapons. I think that's right.
Oh, the custom weapons?
You get the 2 weapons and you put them together.
Yeah, I think so.
I really enjoy that. I thought that was really cool. I like that you're fighting 2 bosses, but
Mhm.
one at the same time.
Yeah.
And you can kind of cheese this boss by only going for the little brother on his back,
Yeah.
but I think it's an enjoyable fight. The only problem I don't like is him teleporting behind me and stabbing me.
Oh yeah, and that's why it's one of my favorite fights to fight with a partner because it's entertaining because you're having fun as you're doing it. I 100% agree. He's at least A tier, easily, maybe even S tier. Okay,
I could go with that.
yeah, we'll talk about that as we
I think
What is this thing?
I'm fairly certain that's the dragon from Archdragon Peak.
Okay, so that's the one that you cheese it by running through the level only to drop on it and insta-kill it.
It doesn't. Oh yeah, I looked, and you can do it with the broken heroes, like the broken sword. You can do it with
The lamest thing.
any stabbing.
Can you technically defeat him on the ground?
Yes.
So people have done that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Why? I don't know.
just for the challenge. So where would you put him?
I mean, I enjoy the killing him part, but that's only the really thing I like about him. The rest of the fight of going through that entire area, hate it. It's so annoying.
Yes.
The Dragon's Knight, like, it throws fire at you a few times, but that's it.
And I think that's the interesting thing. It's more about the puzzle of the area. And really, you can run through that area to get to him if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But you have to know the area already. I think I'm going to have to put a quick, big stamp on this and actually go, I think I want to put him in S tier. Only because of the cinematicness of I just dropped on a dragon's head
I could go with that.
and
I enjoyed
one-shot it. Just that first moment when somebody told me, one of my friends that was playing it with me goes, drop down and hit your sword button. And I did it. And all of a sudden, I was in heaven. Like just watching what just happened. It's not that it's a good boss fight. No, it's not. But yet to me, it is good because it's so special and crazy. And it's intentionally designed to be like this, not cheesy in that this is something that's haha trick. This is what's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kind of put a
One bad thing with him is if you're doing like certain run playthroughs like mage only or incantation only, you can't do that trick.
Well, you can if you still just have a sword in your inventory.
Like I meant like only using mage weapons.
Right.
Only using like pyromancy stuff like that.
That's true. Okay. So what?
Oh, that's King. Well, we know where he's going.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just put him up there.
F tier, right?
Are you stupid?
All right. Yeah, we both know and agree. Why? He's S tier.
I love the design.
Yep.
Design of the area, him, the fight, all of it. Bad thing for me is I've never had a good experience with fighting him.
Why is that?
I always have people that are randomly there. I had you and Isaac the first time because we were running through it and you're like, oh, here, go through this. I was like, okay.
Yeah. And it's one of the best areas in the original part of Dark Souls 3.
So good for farming.
Archdragon Peak is just beautiful and fascinating, and it goes back to Dark Souls 1 lore because the things that are attacking you during the level are the snake people from Sin's Fortress, but they've got the cloaks on, so it's hard to tell. The presentation of this fight is so good because the initial is he's on the dragon, and then you kill the dragon.
It's angry.
And he powers up from the dragon and goes crazy sauce, and it's so much fun. I mean, you are just in, all right, this is literally like in the lore, a god come to Earth to say hello, and you get to beat him up. And it's fantastic. Yeah.
He beats you up. Don't lie.
That's true. Okay, I believe this is supposed to be the final boss, the guardian of the flame.
I don't remember his name.
Yeah, it's like Flamekeeper or something because it's not actually a person. It's like a collection of all of the guardians.
Yeah, because
he has movesets from several different
because he has a mage build. He has a not a longsword. It's the rapier build. He has quite a few builds. Personally, I've done this fight and excuse me. This fight was okay for me.
Yeah.
I loved the music. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
Music was definitely good. But this fight was... I really only attacked him during the mage build and ran away during the other one.
Yeah.
Because the other one...
Nah, this ain't happening.
Yeah.
So...
But I also played... When I did fight him, I played through the death playthrough, so I
Okay.
had what's her face help me.
Okay, yeah. And that makes a big difference too. I will say I really enjoyed this fight. It's not like top tier by any means, but I think it's good because it really just goes, okay, now you've learned all this stuff. Can you put it all together
I like how
and
it's
test
like,
you?
oh, if you're good at fighting this build but bad at fighting this build,
Yeah, you're going to struggle
Try.
in this area. I would say he's, for me, an A tier above Yorm, but that's about it. That's as high as I would ever even go.
I'd say below Yorm.
Below Yorm? Okay, let's do it.
Okay, one thing for Yorm. Are we including the Siege Word playthrough?
Sure.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Because if you don't play the Siegward stuff, you're missing
it's
out
boring.
because Siegward is the best. All right,
Siege Word.
the first boss of the game with his infection, we've already talked a bit about him. We don't like him as much as the one you fight later. Where's he at for you?
I actually personally like him a lot because for me, this was my first ever boss, technically.
Okay.
And
Well,
I
yeah.
like how he changes fighting styles completely.
Okay.
So this is the first boss I ever fought. It took me a few tries. Yeah, I'm horrible at the game, whatever.
So where would you put him?
Personally, I like him better than the second one just
Okay.
because it's a boss of, oh, you're fighting a big knight, whoop-de-doo. Like every other Souls game, then he turns into
Yeah.
sludge snake thing.
Very cool concept. This is where we're gonna have to really struggle through.
I think
this.
he's kind of weak.
Yeah. I actually find him as an F tier.
F tier,
Lowest tier.
How?
Because once he goes infected, especially if you're a melee build, there are times where I have died in that fight for two reasons. One, I cannot see myself. Like, because of all the sludge and stuff going on,
That's fair.
I literally cannot see myself. And two, where are the hitboxes for the sludge? Like when he's
You don't
striking
get that.
you.
That's nothing.
Exactly. Because it isn't. There's nothing going on. You're like, I don't know what hit me. Was it the front end of this thing? Was it the middle neck of the infection? I don't know because I can't see. And it always drove me crazy because it shouldn't be that hard of a boss. And yet there was times where it could be just because you couldn't see.
Yeah,
That
that's
bothered me. That bothered me. So I am at an F tier with him because the design made me struggle because of just not being able to see and understand what was hitting me. It's like the putrid tree spirits in Elden Ring.
Oh,
Sometimes you get hit and you don't know why, and sometimes they'll hit you through the wall and you still don't know why. And then you realize,
then they grab you through the wall.
yeah, then they come straight through the wall, but still somehow like the core of their body is inside the other side of the wall, so they didn't actually technically go through it, but they'll grab you. So
I put him in C to D tier.
okay,
D tier being low, but I understand why you want to put him in F tier.
yeah, let's at least leave him at D tier, and we'll adjust if need be. I just cannot stand him at all. So who's this?
This is the dude with Sif.
Oh, okay. So this is DLC.
Not Sif,
It's the
but-
Painted World. Yeah. So it's the Guardian guy with the big wolf.
The only reason I like this fight is because of the wolf.
Yeah.
The Guardian guy, he's weak and useless.
Oh yeah.
He's a gimp fight where he throws dogs at you at the beginning as well.
Yeah.
Like the Capra Demon.
I love the first time you fight it if you haven't looked anything up online because then you're like, this guy's a chump.
Yeah.
And then all of a
he's
sudden you're looking behind you going, wait, what's that? And you just
if you like in Dark Souls 1, I haven't killed Sif yet, and it's
Yeah.
just, oh, big dog,
Yeah.
pain.
Yeah. So in this case, right, we've got an interesting thing. So where would you put him?
I almost want to put them separately because
They're same boss fight because if you
I
don't
know.
kill him fast enough, they do start ganging up on you, and then it's harder to get to him just because the wolf's
Yeah.
so aggressive.
I put him right where he is, to be honest.
Really?
Maybe above Ocelot Dude, but
Okay.
it's just that him as the fight, because he's meant to be the main thing for the fight,
Okay.
but he's just boring.
Yeah.
It's just a dude with a shield.
I always have fun with this fight, but I hear what you're saying. So I think
I have fun with the
keeping
fight
him
when
in
I'm
C
fighting
is
the
fine.
wolf,
yeah.
not fighting him.
Yeah, but it is also the reality of when you play Dark Souls 1, you've already fought this wolf in a way.
Mhm.
or different moveset for sure than Sif in there because Sif's holding a sword in his mouth.
So it's
But
kill you.
yeah, it's just one of those things that it's a little bit of a redo ish. So I'm fine with it. I would probably rate him higher just because I always enjoy it, but it's not like a great fight or anything.
Sister
All
Frida.
right, Frida. So F tier for me.
I will hurt you.
Okay, where is she really?
She is in the top of S tier. She is my favorite boss.
She is.
Period. There was a lot of things. It was just like whose harder boss would be her or Melania. I personally think her because Melania has two stages.
Yep.
And she can heal if she attacks you.
Yep.
But she just in Elden Ring with all the builds, the blood, the frost builds, she's not as hard as a lot of people put. When she first came out and no one knew what to do, she was hard.
Yeah, and I think she's the only boss in Dark Souls 3 that has 3 phases. I think.
She's the only boss in any game for Dark Souls that I could think that has 3 phases.
Okay. Because I don't like the phase concept very often.
Gale.
Does Gale?
Yeah.
Because
technically.
First Gale attacks you
he doesn't have any
he's just
cinematic stuff.
running around crazy. And then you go fight him down below after he sucks the energy from, like the lifeblood from everything around him. And then does he change halfway through that part of it?
He gets like an angrier phase.
Okay. So there is kind of a third phase. But
and then like a 25%.
Okay. So in this case, it's very clear distinction of 3 phases. And it's beautiful. Just pure beauty. Of the first phase, it's just her, right?
It's just her.
She's not bad. Then phase 2.
Hold on. First phase 1. Because she goes invisible.
Oh, yeah.
And she does the backstab that'll take everything away from you.
Yeah.
And personally, I hate getting hit. But when I'm hit by that, I think it's...
But she's easily stunnable in phase 1. Phase 2, Papa wakes up and goes crazy. And he's not hard necessarily. It's just that he's big.
He's there and she's there.
Yeah.
And if you don't pay attention to Frida, she'll heal them both because they share the same health pool.
Yeah. And so after he or, one of them goes down, do you have to take both down at that point? I think you might have to.
Yeah.
Okay. Then she wakes back up.
Maybe.
And goes pure. This is what had already come out, Bloodborne. And most people have equated that this boss fight is Bloodborne. Why she's so fast was they put her as essentially what she would have been in Bloodborne. And I agree, and it makes her fascinatingly crazy and fun. The amount of times I have died to Frida and watched friends die to Frida is way too many. All right. After that,
the demons.
The demon princes, or whatever you want to call them, the twin demons.
To be honest, they remind me of the twins from Terraria.
Okay.
Because if you kill a certain one first, the other one's easier.
Yeah. Where would you put them? I don't know.
I'd probably put him there. It's just a boring fight to me.
Yeah.
It's just...
There, you fight 2 of them, you kill one, and then you have to kill the other eventually, like after that. I don't remember if there's a cinematic, but it's just an annoying fight that doesn't have much yay to it. I don't know.
Like, I know a lot of people really enjoy this fight. I never understood why.
Yeah.
Because I've tried both versions of the fighting.
Yeah.
And I've beat both of killing one first or killing the other.
Right.
And I feel like it was a wannabe version of Smough and... What's his face?
I almost feel like it's just Dark Eater Midir, but not as intense in a way, even though it's hard.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. All right.
Your favorite fight?
Yeah. The fight where a player becomes the boss and has Painted World people show up to help defend, and you also get random spells that get cast that you don't even summon. So
get the knives.
What do you think?
Fighting the boss, I don't do PvP.
Okay.
I put it B tier, but playing as the boss, it's different. I love playing as the boss.
Yeah.
And it's just, hey, look at me, I'm better than you.
Yes. Well, and that's where I'm at. I'm actually at an S tier with him, period.
I put him in A tier.
Okay. Well,
High A tier. Top of A tier.
So the reason being is you get into a boss fight and now you're playing against someone who also has played this game.
And one
And so
thing
they're
is,
not going to be
it's unlikely. Okay, when it first came out, it's unlikely that you fight the same person twice.
right.
Now it's usually you're fighting the same person or
Yeah.
the same few.
Because they have to be part of that covenant, I think.
Yes.
And so, my character is usually part of the covenant because I love being summoned
Yeah.
as that boss. But just the fact that you're fighting someone that you can't just go, I know what their moveset is.
Yeah.
I know what's supposed to happen here. Because you don't. You don't know what kind of weapons they're going to show up with. Are they going to be a magic wielder? Are they just at a god tier at PvP? I think that's fascinating that they did that. So I'll adhere to that. But for me personally, he's right behind Sister Frida. Or she. All right, Dark Eater Midir. F tier?
Why is it with you and putting every good boss in F tier?
Just to bug you.
Yeah, you're doing great. Dark Eater Midir, I love him, but there's one problem. You can use one spell,
Yeah.
and it can kind of ruin the fight.
It can. But it's also really cool that you can actually fight that thing with one spell because he hits like a truck. He is a monster and a half.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. Like, he is not a slouch, and you've got to be really careful with him.
What I like about him is pretty much if you took away the wings, it's Godzilla.
True.
Because that beam attack,
Yeah.
it's so beautiful.
So
looking.
where'd you put him?
Probably S tier, maybe high A tier.
Yeah. I'm willing to go with the S tier because I agree. I love Dark Eater Midir fight. He's so good.
Gale.
All right. Slave Knight Gale.
Right behind Frida. I
Okay.
love him as a fight. The only thing that I don't like during that fight is the lightning randomly striking me.
Yeah. Every time I fight him, I have an absolute blast because the first part of the fight I don't enjoy as much as certain things.
I like how he just becomes crazy.
I'm going to move him down one tier just because of that first phase. That's the only thing I would say.
That's fair.
Everything else, like the second and kind of third phase when you're down by the thrones, so fun. So much fun. Because that's a more interesting fight if he's like you. He has hunted and done all these epic things, has all this power, and you're fighting him with his crossbow and his spells and his whereas the initial
Stupid
thing he's
crossbow.
like just crazy. Now that's not as fun, but the second part, ooh. Vort of the Boreal Valley, I believe is his name.
Yes. I love his boss fight. Love
Really?
the music. He's not really a super hard boss fight, but first going into him and just seeing him charge at you, it's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. And sorry
Love the
if you
music.
hear a dog. So where would you put him?
Probably somewhere in B tier.
Okay. Where at? Because I'm kind of indifferent to him. I enjoy him, but there's never a moment that I go, epic fight. But I always have fun.
One over. That's probably what I would
Okay.
do.
There we go.
No, go back.
He went too far. All right. The Cursed Tree, or whatever it's called.
Put him in F tier. I hate him.
Okay. You are willing to put into F tier. Are you sure?
Yes.
You sure?
I hate hitting the tree's nutsack. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, that's the reality here.
Tree. And it has
All right. So, I actually agree. It's just gross. I enjoy the fight concept, but it's just disgusting what you're doing. And it gets a little better when you fall into the ground, but I'm still not a fan at all.
And the random enemies that are all there, that are just kind of there, they're not hard. They don't really do anything. They're just kind of
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Totally. Okay, Magic Guy. Yeah.
I'd put him there, maybe F tier. He was a boring fight.
Yep.
Kinda- He was supposed to be a gimmick fight, but it's just
Yeah, as soon as you figure out the
It's not
gimmick
hard.
that it's not him over here, go smack him over there. He has very little health. He's not hard. If you know what you're doing at all, he's easy and not fun or interesting. And that's just it. Some of these are easy, like that dragon that we already rated, and he's up for me S tier because you have to still do something. Whereas this guy, you just have to run up to him and smack him hard, and that's it. And that's dumb. Okay. Abyss Watchers.
I love them.
Okay.
I love them as a fight. I put them in A or S tier.
Yes, I agree. I think they are an S tier type of fight as well. The concept of, again, these are good characters, they almost represent like you at that point as well, that you're of that power level, and they're saying we're just fighting to see who's the best, or something went wrong. What's going on in that room, we don't know, but everybody just dies but resurrects and fights again.
Yeah.
And they have some epic things, and you even have one that comes and helps you, and it's really interesting. So
no, he can still hit you. He'll still hurt you.
Oh, the one that shows up to help.
It's not that he's helping you; it's that he doesn't want the other ones to win.
Okay. I would put him above the dragon.
I could do that.
And I think Dark Eater Midir is probably above that dragon.
Yeah,
I should say. Okay, because he's there just because of just the funny gimmick. Cathedral of the Deep, the Deacons of the Deep.
I don't like them. I've died to them once, and it was because I got cursed.
Oh yeah,
because if you kill them fast enough.
Yeah, if you don't kill them fast enough. I actually do enjoy the fight to an extent, just because it's funny. Because you just have to understand. Okay, I have to hit this thing instead of the 30 other guys. But it's obnoxious, and once you understand it, it's not hard.
Yeah.
So where would you put him?
I'd put him in C tier.
C tier?
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I'd put him behind the demons.
Yeah.
I have fun in it, but I also, after a while, go, okay. High Lord Wolnir.
This is a very debatable fight. A lot of people hate it. But I personally love this fight because...
Why?
Yeah, it's a gimmicky fight, but it's... Like, it's a huge boss.
Yeah. So that's what's funny, okay? With the magician, it's a gimmicky fight. What's different between him and High Lord Wolnir is the arena you're fighting in.
Yeah.
Everything about it is completely unsettling. And once you understand the gimmick, it's easy and nothing about it is hard. But I think understanding the gimmick is what really puts things in perspective.
A few things I like about him is the entrance to the fight. Like him just coming out of the abyss smoke.
Yeah.
And just like, oh, hey, that's a big skeleton.
And those few times that you get full on cursed and just die in the fight.
Yeah,
where you just crawl because you didn't realize what you needed to not do. So where would you put him?
I'd put him in A tier.
Yeah. Okay, I'm willing to. I enjoy him a lot. Where at?
Probably there.
There?
Yeah.
Before the Flamekeeper. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like Flamekeeper that much.
All right. F tier. This is the demon down in the bottom that's reminiscent of Dark Souls 1. So you're fighting a fight, in essence, from Dark Souls 1 in a way. He's definitely got different moveset, but it's awfully similar.
He's boring because all I remember from him is the Kamikaze.
So where is he?
There.
I would
put
say
him in D tier.
Yeah, I'd say he's better than this thing, but you don't really remember him other than, okay, he hits hard.
I remember the giant electric worm.
Yeah.
Him.
Yeah, that's true. The thing guarding him is more obnoxious and scarier than him in a way. All right.
And you can cheese the worm.
We have two last bosses. All right, we've got Pontiff Sullivan.
I'd put him in A tier.
Yeah?
I enjoy him as a fight. Yeah, he's really hard, but you have to understand he does have the hit frames. It's usually just after his attack when he's doing a really slow spin.
Yeah. And I think you're spot on there. He is definitely A tier pretty easily. A good fight, a challenging fight, a hard fight, sometimes not always a fair fight if you're not paying attention to his duplicate.
Because you can also summon people, but they're still...
Yeah.
It's a good fight, I'll definitely say that.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So our last boss is a very special one. The camera itself.
F tier. Get rid of it.
Always fighting the camera. So you say F tier for Dark Souls 3.
F tier for every game.
I would say, now that you've played Dark Souls 1, I think you've actually experienced F tier camera.
True. Okay, I'll be nice. I'll give it D tier.
Okay.
Because, well, look who's in D tier, Cody.
And I think that's funny and fair that we could at least put it here for now.
Yeah.
That it's just right above this, because the camera isn't necessarily the issue when fighting the infection guy. It's how big he is. If you're a melee character, you just can't see yourself because he's just taking up the whole screen.
Yeah.
So it's not like even the camera's fault that it can't give you perspective. I'd say the camera is way better than Dark Souls.
To be honest, I could put it in C tier.
Okay.
Because I think
we're
out of
moving
all
up.
the Soulsborne games, it's in the best, even compared to Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Elden Ring
has some derpiness to it.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't played Bloodborne. Sekiro's camera, it's not bad, but
Yeah.
Sekiro's different.
Yeah.
There's a lot of killing,
Okay.
like a lot of backstab kind of things.
Okay. So the only thing I would ask that we change, because there's only one I notice on here that I would really like to move and adjust, is this dragon down one to A tier and him to S tier. Would you be willing to go
I
with
could do
me on
that.
Okay.
I enjoy his fight. It's just as a non-PvP player,
Right.
it's not fun.
It's
for me.
weird and it's crazy and it doesn't make any sense and it's okay. It won't let me go over. Yeah, there you go.
There.
Okay. So I think this is a really good overall list. Sister Frida obviously should be at the top.
Favorite boss.
The king.
It's really hard for me because the King and Gale, I could switch those two. But still, I like
Sure.
both of them.
I think
A
just cinematically, the king takes it.
I say Gale for that.
Really?
Yes, I love his boss fight. I love his fighting, his attacks.
Yeah. No. I agree. It's just the cinematics of this king dude is riding on a freaking dragon to fight you.
Looks like a bird.
Fair. But it's there
The
and
only
it's
thing-
crazy and much harder than the dragon previously in the level.
The one thing is for that fight, the clouds are cool, but it looks just kind of grayish.
Yeah.
Like bland.
Yeah, there's
and
not a
two,
lot of
the
color.
camera for this fight.
Yeah.
The camera randomly just hates
That's
me.
true. To be fair, also that's a problem with Dark Souls 3 in general is
Yeah.
the coloring. It's a very
It's a
bland game at times.
like gray
because
brown.
it's showing a lot of the ashes everywhere
Mhm.
to show that the world's been around for literally tens of thousands of years and it's just falling apart. So yeah, I agree. Okay. Any last thoughts on this?
Going
This is
through all
good.
the bosses again.
Hmm.
Going through the bosses again. Make sure.
No, I think we're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Everything lines up to me. I could make a case maybe for the camera being a little higher, but
I could do that. The camera in this game, I thought was actually not bad compared to most games. For
let's
Souls.
put it right next to
I could do that.
the better version of
The only
Infection
problem
Boss.
I remember him for is Taken King, which is like the
Okay.
King guy.
Yeah, I just think that the camera is not an issue like it was in Dark Souls 1 and even in Dark Souls 2 somewhat.
And Elden Ring.
Yeah,
Elden Ring's a newer game, and
it's so much bigger.
it's because all the bosses are 8 million times your size.
Yeah, because once you get stuff that's not human size, then it
Yeah.
just gets complicated and the camera doesn't know what to do. Especially if you're locked on, it's like, what am I locking on to? What am I looking
Doesn't
at?
matter.
Good luck. Yeah. All right. This is it. Let us know down in the comments below. Do you agree with our ratings or rankings on these? If not, let us know why. You know, what's your top tier boss fight? If it's not Sister Frida, who? And we'd love to have a conversation about that because then I'd be really intrigued because, man, what tops Sister Frida? I don't know. But maybe you have something, right?
If you say the tree,
It's
You're
a
gonna have
Fuji
a
tree. Oh man, that silly fight. Yeah. Well, I've been Cody from the Keepers of Nerddom, and I'm joined today by Blaine.
hello.
Thank you, sir. And this has been awesome. It's good talking through Dark Souls 3. Take care, y'all. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye.